Hey Mia, it's been a minute. How have you been? Super busy? Wow, business must be great at the lemonade stand. Whoa, an actual store? Or should I say stores? That's a huge decision. No, I get it. If the time is right, you have to take advantage of opportunities to grow. Of course, there's some risk involved, but I bet you can minimize that. Well, if you're concerned about what the economy is going to be like in the future, you could always look at some of the economic indicators. Well, those are some of the statistics that show the overall health of an economy, things like GDP, unemployment, and inflation. Yeah, I think we can help you out. Give us a couple of minutes and we can sit down together. All right, so big news. Mia's lemonade stand has done so well that she's considering opening an actual store with several locations. And while things are going well now, Mia doesn't want to just jump into this if the economy isn't too strong. So today, we're going to show her how to use economic indicators to help her decide whether or not to move forward with this opportunity. By the end of today's lesson, you should be able to answer the following questions. How do changes to economic indicators impact Mia's business? What are some key economic indicators that Mia can use when analyzing the health of the economy? How can analyzing the health of the economy help Mia make better choices about the future of her business? You should also start to think about our big picture question. How does the health of an economy impact the decisions that businesses and consumers make? Now, for Mia, expansion is a big decision because she has to balance the possibility of increased profitability against the potential risk of failure. How do changes to economic indicators impact Mia's business? Pause the video while you record your answer, and I'll meet you back here when you're done. All of those economic indicators impact how consumers feel about the direction of the economy and can impact spending. And as a lemonade stand owner, Mia's business would be extremely responsive to changes in economic indicators. After all, for most people, her lemonade is not a necessity. That means that it might be one of the first things that people stop purchasing when they feel like they need to cut back spending. But it is also an item that doesn't cost a lot of money or take up a big chunk of people's budgets. That means it might be one of the first things that people decide to purchase when they feel comfortable spending a little more. After all, splurging on some lemonade is probably a lot easier to justify than an expensive vacation. But Mia's just a lemonade stand owner, not an economist or government official. What kind of useful information can she get access to? What are some key economic indicators that Mia can use when analyzing the health of the economy? Take a moment to answer this question, and we'll go over the answer when you've finished. Well, to first get an overall idea about the state of the economy, she should look at GDP numbers to see if there are any trends regarding expansion or contraction. But more importantly, she should dig into some more statistics. Remember, having demand for her lemonade is key, so people are going to need to be able to pay for it. That means having an income, which means having a job. By looking at unemployment rates, job growth, and workforce size, Mia can get a better idea about the number of potential customers in her area. More people working means more people potentially paying for a cool, refreshing cup of lemonade. Fewer people working means fewer potential customers. But she should look at wages as well. If more people are working, but wages don't seem to be increasing as well, it might mean that people are still having difficulty making ends meet. Spending money on lemonade might still be a luxury. However, if wages are increasing with job growth, there is definitely the potential for people to have more income to spend on items like lemonade. It also wouldn't hurt to look at inflation numbers, the Consumer Price Index, and consumer confidence. After all, if inflation is rising rapidly and consumer confidence is sinking, people might have less ability and desire to purchase lemonade. On the other hand, if inflation is under control and people feel that the economy is headed in the right direction, they might be more willing to spend money at Mia's stand. We just need to make sure that Mia's looking at local data for her area as well as national trends. After all, economic conditions are different depending on where you live. So while reports for the country or even the state might seem positive, conditions in Mia's town could indicate economic slowdown or even recession. And believe it or not, all of this can have a big influence on Mia's ability to be profitable. How can analyzing the health of the economy help Mia make better choices about the future of her business? Pause the video while you answer the question, and we'll talk it through in a moment. Taking the time to review and analyze data about multiple economic indicators allows Mia to get a better idea about the overall health of the economy. Considering the overall health of the economy allows Mia to better anticipate future economic conditions, like continued expansion or prolonged contraction. That allows her to make better choices about her business operations. And because Mia is using data from economic indicators, her decisions will be grounded in facts rather than being based on gut feelings. Let's consider Mia's potential expansion. If the economic indicators point toward contraction and an economic slowdown, there is a high likelihood that demand for lemonade will decrease. That means it will be much harder to generate the revenue necessary to be profitable. On the other hand, economic expansion and growth means that demand for lemonade might increase, making it easier to generate revenue. For Mia, expanding operations during a period of economic contraction could lead to failure, but not expanding her operations during a period of economic growth could be a missed opportunity. Let's take a moment to recap. In this unit, we discussed how economies are cyclical, with periods of expansion and contraction. We also discussed how economic indicators like gross domestic product, job growth, unemployment, and inflation could help us get a better idea of what part of the economic cycle we're currently in. For consumers, entrepreneurs, and other stakeholders, evaluating the overall health of an economy helps make better economic decisions. When we meet in our next unit, we're going to discuss the one thing that makes an economy work: money. But until then, keep investing in yourself one lesson at a time. See you next time.